Okay, so if you've ever seen a fly bashing his brains against a window pane, trying to get out into the light, that's kind of what I'm doing when I'm running these thought experiments, and I run into the same logical construct over and over again. So let's assume that the ultimate goal for the powers that be is to create as much wealth as possible. Now, believe it or not, I think that is their goal. It's almost altruistic. It's almost benevolent. However, they don't want the free energy because the oil creates so much wealth and so many jobs. Of course, it's also that wealth is asymptotically distributed, but we'll disregard that. They don't want to let the anti-gravity and the controlled inertia come out because the privatized launch services like SpaceX create so many jobs and so much wealth in the high-tech center. And with identical reasoning, you can say cars, bridges, and roads, those all create jobs, which would be obviated by anti-gravity. And the powers that be do not think the telepathic technology should come out because it will undermine the telecom industries, like the cell phone in your pocket. It would make the university structure obsolete. There's a lot of jobs in the university structure because this psionics, which is partially a realm of the transdimensional physics, psionics could facilitate the transfer of large-scale knowledge bases, PhD level. Thomas Bearden says this. Now, in my view, the whole money charade is a game that was over yesterday. For one, the expanding population far outstrips the growth of global wealth. We're creating poverty by reproducing. So how do the powers that be address this problem? They consider strategies of population control. The money is more important than the people. Now, the aliens regard this as an absurdity. I mean, why don't we go back to horses and shovels and just pay people more? Or conversely, since the powers that be have relinquished the tax base for market manipulation, why don't we simply install a $250,000 stock portfolio in every person's electronic wallet? Perhaps this would create inflation, diluting the wealth of those at the top. Wealth itself is largely illusory. We collectively agree that it exists. It actually is a charade, a collective fantasy. This is not a misnomer. Now, with zero scarcity and transdimensional physics, we could engage in industry and activity of all kinds with no concern for schemes of quantized poverty, be it quantum, mathematically based, or shells, Alico-Chick. Energy is free, zero-point technology. Transport is free. We had zero inertia back in 1954. Anti-gravity, faster than light, transdimensional flux liners. Knowledge is free, that's the psionics. Territory is free, galactic exploration. The aliens insist we don't need any culture of scarcity. There is no need to do any job or any currency. There is no need to organize a violent confrontation over things. The war for money industry is absurd. There is no requirement for a hierarchy of any kind. Now, eventually, with advancing technology, we ultimately plasticize physics, we plasticize our biology and our brains. Eventually, we discover the overarching structure of universal consciousness. And we discover the fact that we're engaging in a trivial pursuit. Once we ultimately perceive this universal consciousness, we will discover that. So, for instance, when I think of scientific research and the university structure, why does the Pentagon control all the funding? There shouldn't really be any funding. Human endeavor should be divorced from the machine called money, the poverty system, the war cycle, and the regime of secrecy. They should all go. Now, with an elder race to help us, we can accomplish our transition to the post-money economy. We are imagining post-genomic biology, post-individual consciousness, that's the telepathic calm, post-electoral anarchy. With the telepathy, we can dispense with the batch processor of elections, and those are subject to manipulation and control. That's well known. We can go to the post-money economy, the post-isolation human culture. We can interact with galactic culture and extragalactic. We can go post-war negotiation. We can go post-secrecy organization. Essentially, telepathy makes externalization of others' concerns almost impossible. And it makes it so nobody can fix the game. No electoral manipulation, no financial manipulation, no manipulation of allegiances, no fabrication of enemies, no secrecy. Aliens, quote, all trains of thought are intertwined. I guess that's it.